Let's dive right in by first logging into 1IVNEURON for ITSM. Open your web browser and input the URL that was provided to you by your organization. It will open the login screen that will look similar to what we see here, but customized with your organization's branding. Here you'll input a username and password. If your company supports single sign-on, you'll see a link on the login page that will automatically log you in. In our demo, we'll log in using login credentials. To log in, you must be assigned a role within 1IVNEURON for ITSM. In this case, we've been assigned the Service Desk Analyst role. As a Service Desk Analyst, this is our view after logging in. On the home page, you'll see a dashboard, that is, a user-defined summary view of relevant data, your company's logo, and in the header area, you'll see what we'll call top-level tabs or workspaces that take you to other areas of the application. Let's select the Incident tab. A new tab appears next to the Home tab and the Incident workspace opens. For each workspace, you can define a default search which limits the incidents you see upon opening. Here, our default search is set on all active incidents. To close a tab, click the X. One important thing to remember about 1IVNEURON for ITSM is that there is often more than one way to do the same thing. For example, clicking the blue plus icon presents all the workspaces you have been granted access to. You also have the option to select the More top-level tab. Working our way to the right, there is a graphic next to the username and role. 1IVNEURON for ITSM allows you to upload graphics or photographs into a user-employee record for them to see whenever they log in. Most Service Manager users are typically assigned a single role. If a user has access to other roles, these can be accessed via a drop-down menu by clicking on the name of the role. Let's select the Administrator role. In our new role, you'll notice that the dashboard has changed to reflect that role. To log in, you must be assigned a role within 1IVNEURON for ITSM. In this case, we've been assigned the Service Desk Analyst role. As a Service Desk Analyst, this is our view after logging in. On the home page, you'll see a dashboard, that is, a user-defined summary view of relevant data, your company's logo, and in the header area, you'll see what we'll call top-level tabs or workspaces that take you to other areas of the application. Let's select the Incident tab. A new tab appears next to the Home tab and the Incident workspace opens. For each workspace, you can define a default search which limits the incidents you see upon opening. Here, our default search is set on all active incidents. To close a tab, click the X. One important thing to remember about 1IVNEURON for ITSM is that there is often more than one way to do the same thing. For example, clicking the blue plus icon presents all the workspaces you have been granted access to. You also have the option to select the More top-level tab. Switching back to the Service Desk Analyst role, let's review a few more items in the header area. The question mark icon provides links to Avanti's various help files. The links that you see here are determined by role, by default. For example, as a Service Desk Analyst, you have access to user help, maintenance notifications, and an About page. Switching our role back to the Administrator, we can see a few additional help links. To access these files, simply click the link, and you'll be redirected to Avanti's help page. Having selected the Administrator help link, we have access to help files that are geared toward administrators. There are various ways to search and access files on this page, but generally the simplest way is to use the search bar. Let's type task into the search and press enter. This returns search results that contain different information that relates to our search. Selecting the first search result, let's do a quick review of a help file. At the top of the page, you'll often find topics with hot links that redirect you to that particular topic within the existing page. As for the content of a page, you'll find text that either describes a concept in 1IVNEURON for ITSM or provides you with step-by-step instructions on how to perform specific tasks, often with images that expand once clicked. Returning back to the Service Desk console, at the far right in the header is the Logout button. It's good practice to use the Logout instead of just closing the browser window. If you simply exit the browser, it doesn't immediately log you out and release your license, where the Logout button does. Your company purchases a certain number of licenses, with each license granting access to one user. Often, companies will purchase, say, 10 licenses, but have 20 team members on the support staff that use those licenses. Consequently, using the Logout button when logging out of MINISTRO14373 for ITSM is a good habit to develop. To the right of the Logout button, there is an arrow that allows you to expand the window to full screen. You will notice that when you use this full screen option, it eliminates your header options. Another option to expand the window would be to use the F11 key. If you use the F11 key to expand to full screen, you will retain the header row options. Regarding tabs, you have the option to have multiple tabs of the same item open at once. For example, you may want to have one incident tab open to view incident records and open a second tab to create a new incident. Below the Help and Logout area is the watch list. The watch list is equivalent to using a notepad on your desk. You can store frequently used incident and request records for quick access, similar to bookmarks or favorites. To add objects to the watch list, select one or multiple items, then click the Pin It icon in the toolbar. Here, we've selected the incident record 10480. Opening the watch list, we can see that same incident pinned to the watch list. Click on an item in the watch list to access it. You also have access to the most recent items you've worked on. This feature is quite useful. To remove a watch list item, click the X located on the right of the item. Next, let's discuss dashboards. Here on the top left of the Service Desk console, you can see a drop-down list with the title Service Desk Analyst. This indicates which dashboard you're currently viewing. Dashboards are simply searches of information that are relevant to the role you're using. For example, the Service Desk Analyst dashboard contains dashboard parts like My Open Tasks, My Active Incidents, and so on. Let's switch the role over to Problem Manager. In this role, our default dashboard is the Problem Dashboard. This dashboard also displays search information, but is doing so with graphs and charts. Depending on how these dashboard parts are set up, you can drill down into the charts to access more detailed information. Switching back to Service Desk Analyst, the default dashboard changes to the Service Desk Analyst dashboard. Let's scroll down to the Unassigned Self-Service Dashboard section and discuss lists. There are several general attributes and features you'll find on lists. One is the Maximize button that does just what its name implies. We can see in the upper left the name of our list or search, as well as the number of how many records were located. Whenever you perform a search, it's a good idea to check the page count on the bottom right. Often, there will be more than one page, and thus more list items. On the left of the list is the page size, which is adjustable, and indicates the number of items that display on each page. Across the top of the list are labels of the different columns. Hovering over a label reveals an arrow that, when clicked, allows you to sort from ascending to descending. There's also a filter option. Hovering over a label and clicking the funnel icon, we can see several options. Selecting filters from the drop-down, you can see the available filters for that column. When a filter is applied, the funnel icon will be green, indicating that one or more filters are active. Select the icon once more to add or remove filters. Some columns, as shown here, have a text search filter option. These allow you to freeform type and search for your text entry. You can also group data. Clicking the funnel icon and selecting Group by this field, the filter will group similar items. For example, using this grouping function on the priority column, we've grouped each record by priority number. Click the plus sign to expand each grouping and see detail. Uncheck Show in Groups to return the list to the ungrouped view. To close a list and return to the dashboard, click on the X. Let's cover a few more list-related actions before finishing up. The first is the Export feature. By clicking the Export icon, you can quickly generate a report. An Excel file generates and displays the data from the list. From here you can format, filter, run totals, counts, and so on. Lastly, when you click the refresh icon, it performs a refresh on the system, which then pulls the most current data into your list. You can also return your column width, order, sorting, grouping, and so on when you click the reset icon here. Remote Peak Management recently asked Matt to input 2 new users into the MINISTRO14373 for ITSM system, a new internal employee to the company, and a new contact from a local construction vendor. In MINISTRO14373 for ITSM, there are 2 user account types, employees and external contacts. An employee is an internal customer who uses MINISTRO14373 for ITSM. The system provides employees with an account that defines the login access and available roles. For example, assigning an employee access to self-service, problem manager, service desk analyst, and so on. The system requires that an administrator assign at least 1 role to any new employee. It is through these roles and assigned login credentials that a new user can access MINISTRO14373 for ITSM. The other user account type is the external contact. These accounts serve similar functions as employee user accounts, but with a key difference, in that these users are external customers, that is, users not internal to an organization. For example, you might want to set up a vendor contact to allow them access to the self-service role.